Good afternoon, beautiful, beautiful people. How are you? A lot going on, although not a lot is going on in the Buffalo Bills world in the NFL. Bills finally, I think restructured DJ Moore's contract. We've been speaking about this. We said this when he was first traded for. Then the conversation is pretty heavy on who's going to be restructured, at what time the restructures will happen. They hit Dawson Knox with kind of an extension. They did Spencer Brown earlier in the year. We then hit Josh Allen. Now, Deion Dawkins still has not been touched. He's the other potential in the other option for Buffalo Bills. But now, being that, DJ Moore is restructured, that brings up a little bit of money as far as the salary cap goes. However, they're only 10 to 11, depending on which site you look at, $1 million under the salary cap at this moment, including DJ Moore's restructure. Now, that was a huge restructure. So that went from $24.5 million against the cap this year all the way down to 6.7, 6.8 million. Okay, so there's a big difference. That said, if they're only $10 million right now underneath the salary cap, which they are, they need about $10 million just simply for the draft. For the players that they draft, they need roughly $10 million of salary cap to be free in order to allow those players to fit on this roster and still have, no penalties and no implications of being over the salary cap. So little nutty. Although we were assuming this was going to happen, and I'm glad that it did, I'm questioning right now as far as what the Bills will do and where they will come up with money to even fill the gaps that they have for depth pieces and to bridge some of their weak spots, some of their soft spots. So I'm not sure. We're going to talk about this, and I want all the questions and comments that I possibly get from everybody today. I'm sorry that I wasn't around yesterday or Sunday. Really, really busy, but we're back into it. And even though it's slowed down a little bit, again, there's a lot of things that the Bills need to do, and I don't really know exactly what they are. However, we're coming up against a hard spot right here as the Buffalo Bills continue through free agency and this offseason. So first and foremost, I appreciate all of you. We are getting really, really close to that of monetization. I know that doesn't really mean much to you guys, and I didn't do this to start trying to make a whole boatload of money and become rich off of this, which I know isn't going to happen, but it's pretty cool. We're growing this family here, this cold front, pretty quickly. I'm having a lot of fun doing it, so I appreciate it. So if you're in here and you're new, thank you, welcome. Please make sure that you subscribe and follow along and like this video and share it to all your friends so we can continue this train and get it going to new heights. My goal is to have 1,000 subscribers by the time the season starts in September. First, I need to get to 500 or something in like a few more watch hours to get a couple of things going to where at least all this software and these subscriptions and things that I have to pay for to get you the most up-to-date information and news and things and stay relevant. So if we could just pay for that, it'd be awesome. But I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Again, subscribe and follow immediately if you haven't. Thank you so much. So let's get right into it. First things first, DJ Moore. So what happened with DJ Moore? His contract restructure cleared up roughly $17 million of cap space for 2026 season for the Buffalo Bills. Okay. It's going to allow his $24.5 million to go down to roughly $6.7, $6.8 million, which is a big deal. Okay. That's a big savings, big chunk of money. However, what that means is now the Buffalo Bills, after this restructure, are still not all that far away from not having any money. I mean, and that's the truth. So what we have to do is figure out another way or 12 to get the Buffalo Bills some extra funds so we can continue to work on our offseason roster management. So here we go. I'm going to show you what SpotTrack says, and then we'll look a bit over the cap, because depending on where you look, things are slightly different from time. They're close enough, but they're always slightly different. So here we are. Here's SpotTrack telling us that right now, even after the DJ Moore restructure, and I'll show you the proof here. DJ Moore now, his cap hit is $6.752 million, as you can see right here, for 2026. He came in when he was traded as a $24.5 million cap hit. So this restructure is very good for 2026. That doesn't mean that subsequent years are going to look any good, because I think that the 24.5 went to $28 million for the next couple of years. So, I mean, it's not necessarily making things better in the future, but for the now, which I'm happy with and happy about, I'm going to do this just to put this into context. Here's DJ Moore's now, his contract and what it looks like at the moment. So they converted 22.1 into signing bonus, into a bonus, adding 1 year of a void and clearing 17.7. So that was at 24.5 down to what you see here is 6.75. Okay. Again, good jump. Big time savings for this year. But instead of 24.5 for 27-28, it's 28.9, 28.9, 28.9. So tells me that if DJ Moore has a half decent season, even half decent, that the Buffalo Bills will probably end up restructuring or finagling with this contract again in the future, whether it's next year or the year after. Most likely it'll have to be next year, and they're just going to keep kicking cans down the road. Again, that's okay with me as long as we get a Super Bowl out of this, if I'm being honest. I'm totally fine with all this stuff as long as it comes into fruition as far as what it is that we're trying to accomplish. All right? So we'll go back. Just wanted to show you that because, again, even yesterday even, DJ Moore was on the top of this list, second, well, maybe third, just below Deion Dawkins. His cap hit would have been 24.5, and now it's 6.5, or I'm sorry, 6.72. So here's the Bills as a total. Cap space, $9.7 million. Currently as it sits, okay? You need roughly, and I'll show you, we're going to do this again because we did this last week. But if I come here, I'll show you what it'll take with our current our current draft spots. I'll tell you what it'll look like. If we go to here, draft picks, and what we have, these are the picks that we have this year. So if we add all this up, you have 3.3, 1.2, 1.1, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then you add all of these other couples here. Roughly $10 million that is needed, okay, just for our draftees. So we have right here the 26th pick, the 91st, the 4th, the 2 5th rounds, the 6th, and the 7th. In the event that we don't obtain any additional draft picks, which is very possible that we will, in my opinion. And quite frankly, when you look at this $3.4 million for the first round draft pick, if we're not in a better financial and a more healthy financial situation, I would not doubt, more so than ever, that the Bills try to trade out of the first round and add second or third round